I just wanted to welcome Rajneesh Kumar to the study group today. We're going to be going over MCP, Model Context Protocol. So let's go ahead and go through a little bit here on this intro, show y'all what we're doing, and we'll go from there. All right, so just real quick, if your mom and dad would have told you, please don't do it, just got to say that, get that out of the way. The other thing that we're advertising and talking about is the Azer Champion, just encouraging folks, if they can take it, go take it. A lot of information there, learning about how to deal with these agents and work them up to where they can get work done for you. With the trailhead, you can go through there and get a lot of knowledge on this.
Yeah, currently when you do Agent Blazer, it you learn about the low code agent assembly stuff in Salesforce, which has topics and actions, and the actions are kind of like what MCP enables, but not just only for Agentforce. So we'll be that it's relevant to today's study group because there's a way to have agents have access to the outside world, but not with a protocol or anything, like not with integration, just with with this low code actions interface thing. So
and there is
a lot of overlap with MCP.
And you do have a challenge going on right now. So I was going to say, everybody can get this champion. Rajneesh, well, I was just talking to him. He has his innovator. I got my innovator, but there is a challenge. I know Ryan was saying last time, if you can get your legend before he does, there is a surprise. What are you saying? What were you saying there? You had like a surprise or something for somebody.
I'm cooking up recognition.
Right.
Something exclusive for whoever beats me.
Yes, something exclusive. So get your legend before Ryan does, and there's going to be something special. So that's a challenge. That's the current challenge. The old challenge was champion, and if you haven't got it yet, by all means get it. Get your innovator. You'll learn a lot, and yeah, go for the legend. That's the next big step. So with that being said, I just wanted to quickly show also that Salesforce changed the way of their showing their certifications and doing the certifications. They made things a lot better. When you do get certified, you can go ahead and keep your certification current by going through trailheads. It's not as hard as it used to be anymore. So it's just really encouraging to go ahead and grab your certification. It's going to help you not just be a better hireable employee, but it's also going to help you be a better employee, be a better teammate, do a better job on your team that you're on, and know more of what you're doing when you get certified, like they encourage you to do.
Don't go by that so fast. Go by the certification experience has changed, and it's better because you now do certifications directly inside Trailhead Academy or Trailhead, not through the old external Pearson or whatever it was, or Web Assessor. It's native to Trailhead now. That's the good news. The bad news is now all the practice exams are not public anymore. So stick with us. Come to our study groups. As the Trailhead world keeps changing, we're still here. So
that's nice to know. Okay, so the practice exams were once in the public, and now they're not. Okay, didn't even know that. See, this is new to me. Good to know. We're bringing Rajneesh aboard today in the study group. He is I believe somebody's mic might need to be muted. Here's some music. That's all right.
Diane fixed it. Her sound wasn't working, so now her sound.
I don't know who it was. Okay, that's fine. All right, so Rajneesh has been in the IT world for 25 plus years. All right, and he's been doing MuleSoft and Salesforce for the over 15 years. He's a MuleSoft ambassador. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. He does the meets in Atlanta. So if you're in that area, look him up, check him out. He's on Slack. You can get involved and go and learn a lot at these meetups. I plan on attending the next one when I'm able to. There is a lot of knowledge right here, and he's going to be sharing with us today the model context protocol. We're going to go into it and learn what's going on. He's also ready to present. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go ahead and let you share what you've got for us, Rajneesh. And like I told you, I'm just going to keep an eye on the chat, make sure there's not any questions. If there is, I'll raise my hand and point them out to you so we can answer people's questions as we go. So just drop them in the chat if there is any questions, y'all.
Thanks, RJ and Ryan, having me over here. And thanks everyone for joining for this session. So today our topic is, as is broadcasted, is today topic is fundamental understanding of model context protocol, MCP. And also I'm going to deep dive a little bit how MuleSoft they are using for the MCPs. So before, let me restart this session. So what is model context protocol, MCP? Probably you heard a lot of things about the MCP, and it is now it's gaining a lot of momentum in the AI world, particularly in the, if you are in the integration area, that are getting a lot of momentum to connect with the any of LLMs. So basically, MCP is a kind of interface which allow to connect to the different LLM. So this is an open protocol that standardize your application, provide the context to the large language model. So it's kind of your, like if you are coming to the background of the USB or USB-C, so that kind of thing is like you create the one interface so that it can plug anywhere, wherever you want to. Suppose that I create the USB type C. So now it work for the any of this kind of application or system, and I can plug in and play, and then it will, I don't need to worry about what is going behind the system is. So that's the whole concept of the MCP is. So let me know everybody is listening and everything is all good sound wise. I just want to double check. Okay. Yeah.
Everything sounds really, looks good, sounds good.
Thank you. So now let's understand is why we need the MCP in the AI world or LLM world is. Suppose that I'm asking any question is what is my order status? If we directly go to the any of LLM like open source, open AI or anywhere, if you're asking is what is my order status? So here, if you notice, is there is no context. Like you are just asking a plain question is what is my order status. So your LLM is get confused like what he's talking about, what order he's talking about, like whether it is order from the Walmart or Macy or any of or their order or personal order, what kind of thing is going on. So it always come with the like what you're looking for. So I need the more information. What does it mean? The more information is basically is LLM is looking for the more context so that it will give the relevant answer to you. So that's what the here is. If you notice, is model context. So if you notice, is that's why is the context is coming picture over here is basically the platform which provide you context whenever you're communicating with the LLM. That where we are storing some of the context so that we can communicate to the any of your LLM behind the scene is. So if you notice is how it look like the old world before MCP is. So we are directly communicating over here to the LLM. Any of your LLM is there is no interface. Everyone has their own way to communicate with the LLM and getting this information into their system is. But as soon as MCP can picture, it provides the standardized way to communicate with your LLM is. That is a standard way. So now your underneath system don't know how to communicate with a different LLM. MCP is providing the one kind of interface so that you can communicate and you can store the context particular for the that LLM is. So that's why MCP is gaining a lot of momentum because you no need to really know all kind of LLM. If you are know MCP, how you are communicating with the MCP, there the LLM, then you can communicate with any of LLM. So it's unified API is providing over here is, and then you can create your own API, and then it is going through the MCP, and then now you can talk with your LLM is. So what is the architect behind the MCP is? So if you notice, is the key participant of the architects are first is host. So host is wherever your MCP is running. Like suppose that if you're running in your editor, so the host is there. If you're running on the server, then it is a host is that thing is. So AI applications that coordinate and manage one or multiple MCP client, that is where the host is. So that is called the host is. So MCP client, second is MCP client. So component that maintain the connection to the MCP server. So there is a server is running where the store where you store the context, and then client is talking to that server, and then the server is talking to the LLM. That is where a client is coming picture. So these are the three components. So MCP servers store the context, and MCP client is talking to the server, and then host is where the hosting running the your this application or server is, that is called the host is. So if you notice is in this diagram, I just created the one architect flow for the how model context protocol MCP work. So suppose that one user is coming and asking for the one prompt is what is the weather today. So and now here he's not giving any context. So it is looping back to the where I need to get this answer, whether it is a part of the existing LLM or it is I need to go outside and then get those information from outside APIs. So that's why this loop is basically deciding where I need to go for that information is. So now, as soon as LLM decide I need to get this information outside from my domain or my LLM, so their request for the MCP call is coming over here. So one question or one kind of set of question is going to the one, is not like a multiple. So suppose that I'm asking is what is the weather, it is going over there. And second question I'm asking is what is the traffic condition, then it is a different, is not related with the weather. Somehow it is related with the weather, but is not directly. So it's different call will go. So same thing is if I will ask for the third, what is order status, it will go to the third call. So this, if it's what is the weather, it is going to the one call, and then it is calling to the MCP client. So one call go to the MCP client, second call is two, and then MCP third is going over there. And now this is where this whole thing is hosting. This is called the host is. So where this MCP is running, where it's communicating with there is called client is. Now, since I asked the question, now I need to get the context is where I need to get the context. That is a server is storing that context. And this always be is a one-to-one relationship. MCP client 1 communicate with the MCP server 1. Same thing, MCP client 2 is communicating with the MCP server 2. And MCP 3 client is communicating with MCP server 3. So this is a typo error. So, but this is how it is work out. And now MCP server going to get those data from the different LLM, different system, and then pushing into the LLM side is, and now I need the whether what is the weather or what is your service ticket number, or what is your status of service ticket. So you can go to the different system and get those information and feed into the LLM, and that information feed to the user is through the prompt is this is what your response is. So how this is how the flow of MCP server or MCP will look like is. So now try to understand is what kind of different architect layer is. So there's a two kind of architect layer. First is data layer, and second is transportation layer. In data layer, basically you are defining you are communicating with the JSON RPC based protocol, and then you're talking to those information getting and executing that one. Second is transport layer. It covers the seamless secure data exchange. Basically is the transport layer manage communication channel and authentication between client and server, handle connection, establish message framing, and secure communication between the MCP participant. So MCP support two transport mechanism: studio transport, use a standard input output stream for direct process communication between local process on the same machine, providing performance with no network overhead. So basically, is transport layer that it provide. So if you look for the data layers, what kind of different data layer is? First is life cycle. So what is a life cycle? Is handle the connection initialization, capability negotiation, and connection termination between client and server. Server feature is basically is enable server to provide the core functionality, include the tool of AI action resource, context data, and prompt for the interaction template from and to the from to the to and from the client is. Third one is client features. Client feature enables server to ask the client to sample from the host LLM, elicit input from the user, log message to the client. And last one is utility, is basically support the additional capability like a notification for real-time update and progress, your tracking for long running operation. That's where we are doing the utility feature is. Similarly, transport layer has a two kind of thing: a studio transport, which is standard HTTP post, where generally generally we communicate with the input output stream, direct process communication between the local process on the same message, providing optimum performance with no network overhead. So in this scenario, there is no network overhead is coming. So second is basically streamable HTTP transport. This is where generally we are communicating through the APIs, where we are talking with the HTTP post, or we are going to the OAuth, and how we are APIs is basically using this transport layer is. So now I always get the question is, what is the difference between the HTTP and MCPs? This is very common question I'm getting from the different channels. So let's deep dive into the what is the difference between the HTTP and MCP. It's very different, but is somehow it is a very similar. So let's find it how the communication style is. This is stateful for the HTTP case. MCP is stateful because every time you are holding the context is based on the context you are getting a response from your LLM is. Message handling. So each request is independent. Like that's why you have to maintain the session and everything in the HTTP. But MCP message can carry session context and semantic meaning. You are holding that one. That's the difference between this MCP and HTTP layer. So application specific, usually for AILM system. Application layer, web API etc. I think I switch to the between this. This one come over here is application layer web API, and this is for usually AI ML system is. So efficiency, less efficient due to the repeatable overhead, because it's every time it's creating a new request and getting this responses. But MCP is more efficient via the persistent context and reduce header is. That's how MCP work, because every time you are maintaining the context. Transport layer, primary the TCP. This is you already know. MCP also work the TCP, but WebSocket and custom transport also it's work on that part. Use case, web page REST API, that is where we use. MCP generally we use AI model, microservice, IoT, distributed system, chat or game, there where we use MCP. And then security is HTTPS TLS, and MCP we can use TLS or other security layer too. So these are the few difference between the HTTP and MCP. Now let's jump on the what is the MuleSoft support in the MCP side. Basically, this is a new. It is still evolving. And you see some of the things is still in beta version. Some of they are working on that side is. So based on the what is available, what I know, based on that one, I created this slide so that you can aware like what is going on with the MuleSoft side for the MCP. So this is how work on the MCP for the MuleSoft is. This is LLM is there and communicating with the different system. MuleSoft is between, which is running your whole MCP server and client over here. So this is your host for the MCP is MuleSoft is. So what is the MCP? Bring MCP to every API, expose any API as MCP server in minutes using pre-built operation. That's the MuleSoft providing. Build context-rich AI application. MuleSoft is helping or enabling those application through their Connect MCP connector, allow model and agent to expand their knowledge from the any source system. And last one is create secure and scalable AI ecosystem. Is basically there is another layer MuleSoft is providing so that you can secure your MCP server and MCP client through the MuleSoft. Is there is a couple of security feature is enabling through the MuleSoft side is. So now let's understand is AI-led architect is. You already know API-led architect. Now we are moving towards the AI-led architect is. We can unlock this enterprise, how we can unlock this enterprise. So the AI-led architect is. So this is your backend system, which is you already know. Some of the system is over here. I mentioned it could be any system, legacy system, and there. So it is very similar to the API-led architect. So now there is a 3 layer which is coming from the API-led architect is. So experience layer, process layer, and system layer. And now these are the different layers. If you notice is over here, mark it as a different color is different, like AI chain is a new thing is coming, is still evolving, but it is going on. And then Salesforce flow. This is we are including, which is also part of this flow and fulfillment, finance API and fulfillment API. Everything is like a part of this API-led architect is. And then they are talking directly or indirectly to your underneath system, your whatever your organization supporting your system is, whether it is SAP or legacy or LLM is communicating with the LLM. So it is LLM APIs old ways going on now. So now there is a layer is user experience layer is according to API-led architect. These are the app-based experience. Generally, we work on the API-led architect is, which is a customer mobile or website or your any your application. This is now. So we are jumping onto, or we are going to the new era, which is called the AI experience or agentic experiences. So this is a new thing is coming, which is called the agentic experience. There, as soon as this feature is coming, then we need something extra so that we can communicate with the AI side, or we can enable agentic experience to the user. So MuleSoft introduced the MCP layer, which is called their action layer. So there we are enabling all API from here. And then this API is available for the agentic experience as well as user experience through the MCP. So this is AI-led architect, and it's providing the more robust communication between the agent and the AI layer. That's where the MCP is helping in that journey, how agent can communicate with the different APIs. So this is where the key thing is coming in a picture every time. So MCP simplify the agent to system communication. So now I am going to little deep dive is how agent work and how MuleSoft is helping and MCP is helping to each other. So again, I'm going to this system. This is a backend system. And now your agentic experience, I just remove the rest of the things is. So in old fashioned way, this communication is going directly coming to the agent through the different APIs. So if it's a 1 or 2 API call, then it's fine. Like there is no issue. We can communicate and then we can build something. But what will happen if we have a multiple communication is going? It is very hard to manage or hard to maintain those multiple communication through the one agent. So suppose that I'm working on the service side as well as order side, and both has a different domain. It's very hard to communicate with through the one agent to the different all different kind of system is. So that's why the bottleneck come in picture is. That's why is lag, or you can see the issue will come in picture within your organization is. What are the different issues will come is like first is technical limitation, because now you are communicating to two different or three different kind of a domain, and then you are enabling those through the API to the one agent. Then there is some challenges. So there is a technical limitation. Second one is monolithical architect, because now only one bottleneck is, which is called the agent fulfillment agent is over here. That is a kind of bottleneck. If any of your system will fail, start to failing, then it will fail all your processes over here. So it called the monolithic architect is. And third one is risk is. So security risk come in picture is like since we are communicating through the one agent for the multiple different system, then it's very good chance that it will be vulnerable for your system is. So now we are creating a scalable approach to agentic adaptation. So this is how agent communication is coming pictures. Now we are building the backend agent. Is first we are building the backend agent is, which is going to communicate with your system behind the scene, and then on the top of that, fulfillment agent is coming picture is. So now fulfillment agent is talk to the product agent, three different agent, and then this three different agent is communicate with the backend system over here. So same thing over order agent, inventory agent. There is a three different agent coming picture, which is calling to the one agent, which is called the fulfillment agent is. So now how things is work. Look, this is a backend system, and this is your front end, and this is your user experiences backend. So from here, multiple action is going on. We are also communicating to app-based experience and agent-based experience, and we are talking with the different multiple system over here. So now we introduce a model context protocol over here. Whenever you are communicating to the backend system, API communication is going on through this system. So they are coming to the API and talking to this system. So API-led architect come in this layer, and then we are enabling to the model context protocol over here. And then on the top, whenever you are communicating to agent, then there is another layer going to introduce by the MuleSoft is agent to agent protocol is. There is an agent to agent protocol coming. So if you look for the holistic picture, how the agent world will work is over here is whenever you are talking to the agent to agent, there is an agent to agent protocol will come, and whenever you are talking to the system to agent, there is a MCP coming picture where you are communicate with a different system. So you can as I explained my previous diagram is MCP is enabling API. So this is API led or architect over here is, and which is enabled through the MCP is from here. So this is whole agent to agent communication happen. So this is a one layer up for the how MCP and agent work together. Now, so this is basically extend the governance, how the two different world work together, and is basically is part of the one ecosystem is MuleSoft is MCP. It is now a summary of the what I explained over here is MuleSoft MCP fulfillment agent is going to the Flux Gateway and then calling to the MCP support MuleSoft or third party, and then it is going to your system. But agent to agent is now it is going from customer agent through the Flex Gateway and talking to the agent to agent protocol and product agent is. So this is how different use case work together is one for one when wherever you are talking to the only API, then MCP can picture. Whenever you are talking to the agent to agent, then this architecture come in picture. So these are the two different part of the one ecosystem is. So this is what the whole look like the MCP and MuleSoft is. And this is my end of the slide. So if you have any question, I can take from here.
That was really good, Rajneesh. Very clear. It really hit home when you got to that one slide where you're showing all the layers. You're seeing how MCP is falling in line and
Mhm.
communicating down to everything else that we're so familiar with in MuleSoft. My only question, and I hope others have questions. I didn't mean to jump in front of anybody. I didn't see anybody unmute, so I jumped in first. But my biggest thing is I need hands on. So like, our I know that this is all still developing and evolving, like you said. Is there a place where we can already like get out there and start practicing it, kind of like where you were doing when you were getting your champion and innovator at the trailhead?
Yes. Let me give you the little bit demo how look like in the MuleSoft world is. So
Okay.
again, let me share my screen.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So now can you see my screen?
I do. Yeah. It looks great.
Okay, so this editor you already familiar with the AnyPrime Perform. Same thing is for Builder. So this is as soon as you come over here in this editor, you can download. Currently, these are the available. As I explained, my slide is MCP client and MCP server is the different version of client and different version of, and each has a different meaning. So if you are working on the MCP side, you have to know like what you are working. You are creating a server or you are creating a client. Server where you're storing the context. Client is when you're talking to the server. There the whole flow is coming picture. So that's the so the ping is like you are keep checking whether your server is up or running. Like any of your, if you're creating any of your server, list tool is listing your tool. Call tool is like whenever you want to call to the any of your tool is. So this is a resource, like the same thing is whenever you're working on the resource side, then this need to be configured. Same thing is like a server, the three different flavor on new session listener. This is every time new session is creating, that where this server need to be called. Resource listener, whenever you are working on the resource side, you have to create the server so that you can listen to those resources. And then tool, similar kind of the tool whenever you are working on a tool. So just I'm giving you one idea how the look like. So this is a server. So if you notice is you can configure like that. And these are the configuration you need to make sure. These are the things you need to configure on your side is connection CC, SS. It is communicating to the two different kind of, it's providing the two different kind of option. SSC server and streamable HTTP server. It based on the your SCCP server, more kind of like a, if you know the little programming Python and everything, though there you need to use it over SCC server. Same thing. And sorry, you have any question?
I believe somebody was coughing. You're good. Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. So this is streamable HTTP server, which just I mentioned, and my two kind of layer is, there is a two different kind of layer is, it's work on the local, it's work on the HTTP side. If you're working on HTTP, then you have to configure the streamable HTTP server. So this is what it look like. So let's jump on the flow. So similarly, I can show you some of the. So like one of the things I want to show over here is, suppose that this is you're giving a description which is called, you're creating a server, and then you are talking as a plain English. From there is kind of prompt for your LLM. There we are sending to the LLM and then getting those information. So getting the list of all B2B partner certificate along with their serial number, expiry date, secret type. So we are not writing a SQL query. We are sending as a plain English. From there, we are pulling that information and then executing is. This is a partner schema. That's how it is look like. The your response type is, that's you're defining schema, and then this is a response you are getting from there as a raw. So same thing I can. So you're tracking client side. Client is the same. Let me show you. This is also server. I'm going through. Wherever you need to talk with a server, you need to configure where somewhere I configure. Most of the places is server. I'm creating those and
It's wild to see the plain English, or where it can just take that plain English
yeah.
and start working with it. That's exciting. I want to go ahead and just start trying this out and seeing what we can get done with it.
Yes, you make it life easy. Like here, like I'm calling some of the things as a plain English, and then you can basically you have to work on this description. Is you need to learn some of the prompt, like how you can call to some of the things from here, and then how it work is. So that's, and client I'm not finding right now. Like, somewhere is I lost. But yeah, this is a plain thing is how you can configure the MCP client. Is suppose that go to the here and list tool. So same thing is it will call to the connector, create new connection for the MCP client, and where you're communicating SSC client. And then there's a different kind of thing. If you notice, is again is a two different kind of communication is happening. So since our server is running a SSC client, same SSC server, so same thing we have to create the SSC client. But if your server is running a streamable HTTP client, then you have to configure the HTTP client, streamable HTTP. This is how you can communicate with your server and client is. And then since this is everything is running within my editor right now, it is host of your application is. So this is host of your MCP is. But if you deploy into the Cloud Hub, then host would be the Cloud Hub. That's how you can define the in MCP world is where the host is. So this is how it is look like. Yeah, so this is what I have right now. If you have any question related with this connector, or you have any question related with the MCP, let me know.
It answered my question, and I'm going to just keep recording in case anybody else has another question, and we'll catch that too. So that way this can be archived. I'll go ahead and share my screen and include this out. If nobody else has any questions, that was my last little screen. I was just checking to see if anybody had any questions so we could elaborate on this. That was very good, Rajneesh. Thank you so much for coming in here and showing us everything that you did. I literally took notes. I don't know if you can see my notes on screen there, but I was jotting down notes as quick as I could. And thankfully, this is going to be recorded. This is going to be on YouTube. And just the last, if nobody has any questions, I do have a question coming in here. Hold on. So what do we have here? Amrit is asking, can we have an MCP tool server to do CRUD, CRUD on MuleSoft Object Store? That's a really good question.
So MCP is basically is CRUD and MCP. You need to understand is what is MCP. MCP is communicating through your API and enabling your LLM is. CRUD, if your API is enabled for the CRUD, then it will call to that API and then do the CRUD from there. So directly MCP cannot go to there. Basically your API will go to there and then enable for your CRUD.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Does that make sense, Amrit? Okay, makes sense. Yeah, got a reply. Got a thumbs up.
Yeah, you could make it with the MCP connector.
Yeah.
Right. So that's another AI chain's doing a lot of stuff with that.
Yes.
So that would be cool. Also, MuleSoft is provide. I had to drop in the last part of your talk. MuleSoft has an MCP server that allows you to interact with the control plane. I don't think it has object store support, but we could. I know the product team. We could talk to Mofi and ask her for that. See if she does it.
There you go. Perfect. I'm not trying to cut anything short. We got
questions.
Oh, I like it. Yes. Can we apply apply policy from API manager. Does auto discovery still work with this? Another good one. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw to that application is application. It is a MuleSoft application. You are using MCP connector over there and enabling the and so it is everything work as MuleSoft or like auto discovery. Everything is like you are deploying a MuleSoft as a MuleSoft application. Within a MuleSoft application, you are running MCP server and MCP client. So obvious, it will work as auto discovery.
That's a good question.
So basically, people generally misunderstood it like I have MCP server and completely different. It's part of the MuleSoft application, and now you're building MuleSoft application. So obvious, all apply whatever you are doing. Like even you apply policy, auto discovery, whatever you want to enable through the MuleSoft is.
All right, got another thumbs up. Got it. Thanks. That was a good question to start. I feel like once we start building it out like you've been doing, like Rajneesh has been seeing it, it's just going to make perfect sense. But those are still good questions because we haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I know I haven't. Emrit is now asking, let's say Mule API has basic authentication. LLM would need to be configured to use the same creds, right? So
Okay.
the large language model would need to be configured to use the same credits. Is that correct?
So now LLM, whenever you're communicating to the LLM through the APIs, there is a different security layer over there, and then different like it's called the guardrail. Is you're defining those security within LLM is like how you're guarding your request or responses, and now you're building the connector on top of that. So first layer security come in picture within a AI LLM side is which is called the guardrail, and then after that you're enabling through the API and then MCP can picture. So that's a thing is work. Yeah,
okay.
Ryan is
Ryan saying authentication is optional. Yeah.
Meaning, yeah, we can choose. The standard specifies OAuth 2.0 and OAuth 2.1 for the MCP interface to the LLM, which is I think the step he's talking about. And the nice thing about Mule is we can treat that as an experience API and then use whatever we want to go interact with our backend systems.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Also, if you go to that link I sent you, that's the spec for about the specification. It's if you at the top there's a little pull down menu, and it shows how quickly the spec is changing. There's been 3 versions since November, so
yeah, it's
every spec is changing like super fast.
Yes, it's very hard to keep it up. Those things.
Good deal.
We really appreciate you, Rajneesh. This has been a very informative and useful session for people to understand how they can make their own agents powerful.
Yes, I'm exploring more like as much as I'm digging into the MCP, like learning more like a new thing you can do through the MCP. Yeah. Like you can use in your partner manager side too, MCP.
Well, that's foreshadowing for a future study group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see ideas going. Yep. I like it. Gears are turning.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Disregard that last message. Internet's back. All right. So the thing I was going to show, and by all means, put more questions in the chat. I'm not going to hit the stop recording button anytime soon. I was just going to throw this out there that Dreamforce is coming up October 14th and 16th through the 16th. And you were saying, Ryan, that there's people actually meeting up before that, right? Like
usually if you go out the weekend, if you're planning to go to Dreamforce, a lot of the Muley people get the Monday, definitely. Some people fly in on Monday, some people come in on Sunday. So a lot of people try to plan to do the weekend after for family vacations and stuff, but MuleSoft community does a lot of stuff prior to.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. So if you're looking at this and you're like, man, that's so far away and it's only 3 days, you could go out a couple days extra and really get some extra time and gathering together. So check that out. Definitely worth looking into. Cool. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. And thank you again. I just want to, again, say thank you for Rajneesh coming on and presenting. We appreciate you. And that's a wrap on this video.